Welcome to JS K-pop, the ultimate place for all K-pop lovers. Here, we'll dive into everything K-pop, from the latest news, music video reactions, to exciting theories that'll make you fall even more in love with your favorite K-pop idols. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of our fun content we upload every week. Come join the fun with JS K-pop. Seoul, South Korea. South Korea was thrown into turmoil after President Yoon Suk-yeol announced martial law on Tuesday night, December 3rd, a move that shocked the nation as it marked the first such declaration in nearly 50 years. The decision, delivered through a televised address at 11 p.m. local time, cited threats from anti-state forces and North Korea. However, the situation took a more complex turn when it was revealed that the decision was not entirely driven by external threats but by internal political strife. This revelation has sparked widespread concerns and backlash from political opposition and the public. Mass protests and political crisis. The announcement immediately mobilized thousands of South Koreans who gathered in front of the National Assembly to protest the martial law declaration. Demonstrators demanded the repeal of the order, describing it as an authoritarian move that endangers the country's democracy. Meanwhile, opposition lawmakers convened urgently in the parliament to push for an emergency vote to overturn the president's decree. Opposition leaders accused President Yoon of leveraging national security issues as a pretext to consolidate power amid declining approval ratings. This decision not only threatens citizens' freedoms, but also undermines the democratic foundations we've built over decades, one opposition lawmaker told the media. BTS's role amid this escalating crisis, BTS member Kim taehyung drew attention for his involvement in addressing the situation. As one of South Korea's most prominent public figures, V's participation has gained widespread recognition, given his global influence and popularity. Reports indicate that V called for peace and stability through his social media channels. In one post, he urged the public to remain united and prioritize peaceful dialogue. "Democracy is our strength. Let's protect it together," he wrote. V's engagement reflects the active role of celebrities in South Korea's socio-political discourse, particularly during critical moments. Concerns for democracy's future. President Yoon Suk-yeol's move has been widely criticized as a dangerous precedent for South Korea's democracy. Political analysts warn that the martial law declaration could pave the way for human rights violations and curtailment of civil liberties. This is a step backward for South Korea, a nation that has been a symbol of successful democratic transition over the past few decades, a political science professor at Seoul National University said. While the government has defended the measure as necessary to safeguard national security, growing evidence suggests that domestic political tensions were the primary motivator. With mounting pressure from opposition leaders and public demonstrations, President Yoon's next steps will be pivotal. Hashtag international reactions and global concerns. President Yoon Suk-yeol's martial law declaration has also drawn reactions from the international community. Key allies, including the United States, expressed concern over the political developments in South Korea. In an official statement, the U.S. Department of State urged South Korea to uphold democratic principles. "We are closely monitoring the situation and encourage peaceful dialogue among stakeholders to ensure stability on the Korean peninsula," a spokesperson said. Human rights organizations such as Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch also called on the South Korean government to respect citizens' rights despite the state of emergency. Parliamentary tensions and the future of martial law tensions continue to rise in parliament as opposition lawmakers push for a vote to revoke the martial law decree. During an emergency session on Wednesday morning, December 4th, heated debates erupted between government supporters and the opposition. "We cannot accept the justification used by the president for such a drastic measure. This is an abuse of power," the opposition leader argued during the session. Meanwhile, President Yoon's supporters insisted that the move was necessary to address extraordinary circumstances threatening national security. A vote on the issue is scheduled for later Wednesday evening, with intense public and international pressure mounting to rescind the president's decision. The BTS and his influence on youth. The BTS's involvement in mitigating social tensions has continued to capture public attention. Following his initial call for unity, V reportedly participated in an online forum alongside community leaders and academics to discuss the importance of social harmony during challenging times. ARMY, BTS's global fandom, has also shown solidarity through online campaigns promoting peace and democracy. Hashtags such as Stay Strong Korea and United with Democracy trended on social media, demonstrating the power of pop culture to mobilize public opinion on major issues. A social analyst from Yonsei University noted the significant impact of public figures like the BTS on the younger generation. In times like this, the voice of a prominent figure like V not only offers hope but also raises political awareness among the youth who may otherwise be indifferent to political matters. What's next for South Korea? As civil society, parliament, and international allies increase pressure, the future of President Yoon Suk-yeol's martial law declaration remains uncertain. If parliament successfully overturns the order, it would be a significant blow to the president. Conversely, if the decision stands, South Korea could face deeper social and political tensions. Amid the uncertainty, public support for democracy and active involvement by public figures like the BTS provide a glimmer of hope that dialogue and peace can prevail in resolving this crisis. South Korea at a crossroads. The declaration of martial law has thrust South Korea into one of its most significant political crises in decades. The unfolding events have not only tested the leadership of President Yoon Suk-yeol, but also the resilience of South Korea's democratic institutions. Opposition leaders have vowed to continue their fight in parliament, while activists and civil society groups organize more mass protests in major cities, including Seoul and Busan. The looming parliamentary vote later this evening will serve as a critical juncture in determining whether President Yoon's declaration will be overturned or upheld. Meanwhile, the judiciary has also stepped into the fray, with the Constitutional Court receiving multiple petitions challenging the legality of the martial law decree. Legal experts warn that a prolonged standoff could lead to institutional paralysis, further deepening the crisis. Hashtag public sentiment and a divided nation. Public sentiment remains deeply divided. On one side, supporters of President Yoon argue that strong measures are necessary to maintain order and prevent potential threats to national security. However, critics believe that invoking martial law is a disproportionate response and a thinly veiled attempt to suppress political dissent. A recent poll conducted by a local news outlet shows that 54% of respondents oppose the martial law declaration, while 38% support it. The remaining 8% remain undecided, highlighting the contentious nature of the decision. "I worry about the future of our democracy," said Kim Ji-won, a 34-year-old protester in Seoul. "This country has worked so hard to move past its authoritarian history, and this feels like a step back." On the other hand, Park Sung-hoon, a 62-year-old resident of Taehyung, expressed support for the president. "I trust President Yoon. He's doing what's necessary to protect our country from internal and external threats."